I'm about to dig. The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs. The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs. Dig. All right, so we got to start over now?
Start, buddy. Right.
Okay. It's the first time for
that was good, man.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs. It's your boy, Ken Sargent, a.k.a. 1192, as your guest host for today. And I had a few other guests that I was going to try to bring on the show, but they had kind of rescheduled because they wouldn't make it back in town in time. It's cool. But I want to give a shout-out to some good friends, Mr. Jay Smith and Dania.
Artemisi.
And for giving me this guest, they introduced me to him a while back. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the hot seat for today, we got Shan, Maurice Evans. How you doing, bro?
Very good.
All right. So, welcome to the studio. Welcome to Artistunitednetwork. How you liking this studio?
I think this is awesome. Actually, Matt and I, with Dustin and I, were talking about like his setup. Man, this is down the line in my journey, but like this is really cool. Yeah.
So once again, Danny and Jay, they were talking to me like way back, and so they were talking like, "Hey, Ken, I got a friend that's doing this docu-series and whatever. So you get him on." I was like, "Yeah, sure, we'll try to sell some." So first off, I want to appreciate you for coming out here tonight.
Yeah, man.
And
thanks.
I think what really interested me about you was what they told me about what you're going for within your series. Mm-hmm. But also before we get into that, so exactly we want to know like what exactly is 3020 Production. I know it's locally owned, it's in the city, and it's been something that you've been doing for quite a while. So, mind give a little backstory.
So 3220 Productions is our just film production company. It's really this is our first venture, this series. That's an old band that I was in. It's a Robert Johnson song, and we were called 3220 Blues, and that's just stuck with me for, I don't know, 30 years or so, something like that, a little longer. So that's the moniker, and it's easy to print, it's easy to remember, and here to make Black American music history.
I like that. Now, especially we were talking about this a little bit ago. So the whole series, we're talking like the Black culture. In your case, the Black culture in like rock and metal and all that. So like how that come to be? Because I do got some great 2 cents.
Yeah. So I grew up. I'm a guitar player predominantly and like rock music. I play a bunch of instruments, but rock is kind of the forte. I've played all over the place. But growing up, I guess listening to my music, my family and friends, and just not necessarily of the same ilk that, we didn't listen to the same stuff. Magic 108 was a radio station back in the day. Yeah. So that was kind of where our dial was turned for whatever reason. And
I think they used to be 104.9.
Yeah. And I think a trip to my grandmother's house when I was a kid, like sleeping on the couch because the rooms were occupied, and she had this TV, and I turned it on late night, and I found MTV, and West End Girls by Pet Shop Boys was playing, and I heard that intro, and I heard that, and I was like, "What is this?" And
when MTV was MTV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when it was actually music television, and I heard the programmed Lynn drums, and I heard, and then whatever the next thing was, then you hear rock and roll, and then lo and behold, 90s come about, I think it was 89. Early 90s. So
I was a 92 guy.
Living Color happened. Yes. Yeah, I saw the, opening riff. the music video actually for Cult of Personality, and that was it.
There's only one word I can say for that: CM Punk wrestling.
Yeah.
That's
right.
That's what got me into it.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, it just resonated with me, and even though I was playing music in the school bands and stuff like that, like rock and roll was what was in my heart and ringing through my head. So I just had to learn everything I could about it, and that's where we are
now. So to kind of go deep within that, I think there's a lot of bands out there, more predominantly, and I would never get canceled for it. There's always the white, there's always UK,
Sure.
There's probably like other, probably Australian, that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of hard, but it definitely is difficult to kind of find like, maybe not full on, but like a black front man or a black lead in a rock band. Like one of which my favorites was Seven Dust.
Yeah.
And they came to town like years ago. I didn't even go. But Later on Witherspoon, that was like one of my favorite guys.
Yeah. Him, Doug Pinnick from King's X. I mean, we're out there. We are out there, but like you said, it's just predominantly a white guy's game. White men, and then there were women. I don't think there are too many black rock women that I've seen or were influenced by. I would love to meet them and actually talk to them about, what we're doing. But yeah, man.
Cause I think also I was gonna say Derek Green from Sepultura, and he's like that's a metal
oh
band.
right, yeah. Him and what's his name from Alice in Chains? He's
shit.
I can't remember his name.
I'm only knowing Kill Switch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I forgot his last name, but no, like I said, it's so weird to kind of look at all these bands. Like, even when you listen to it, you don't even know about the band. You hear it, it's like, okay, it sounds like this. When you look at the music video, it's like, oh my god, that was so great.
Yeah.
But so like, what makes it unique though? Like, what makes the whole culture, and not just for metal, but like a whole another culture within one else's culture to change that? Like, what's so unique about it?
Well, I think it's still sort of seen as an anomaly. It's like, oh wow, that guy's black. Like Steve Ewing from The Urge. He's our first episode, and like we kind of hit on that too. But I think once you see anyone perform, if they're worth their salt, you just see a good show. And I think that our culture, the black culture, like we're just, I don't know, musically, like that's where it came from, the blues, So those notes that the pentatonic scale and the blues scale and all of that stuff too, that came from our roots. So it's there, and like we've been singing that stuff for generations, and then finally Lejean Witherspoon, what's his name?
Lejean Witherspoon.
Lejean what I call him,
Lejean Witherspoon.
yeah.
Think weather, but not
Witherspoon. Well, anyway, and then and Corey Glover and Steve and these guys add that, those tones to that Robert Plant power. Your Led Zeppelin, and you get what we do, and I don't know, man. I think it just comes off really powerful. So,
and then also, I think what's also clever. There's a few bands on here. I just looked it up right away. One band in particular, I definitely like his tone, and I love the whole like chemistry within this. Mongolia Park.
I don't know them.
So I saw these guys on TikTok, and they're like a young band. I don't know where they resonate from, but they definitely have like some good songs and riffs and everything else. There's like other bands I heard on TikTok and just on Spotify over time.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's just it's unique, especially for me being an African American and hearing that. I was like, okay, cool. We got some new changes in the way.
Yeah.
We alternate the roots of music.
Yeah. I just think lately, because of what's been stirred up socially and politically over the last 10 years, let's say, a lot of this stuff that we're doing is coming to the forefront, and we're coming forward and singing, and it's really just kind of been making a difference, man. So I'm just here for it. I'm really happy about it.
So, okay, so let's explain more with the series, why we kind of get that on here. So what's your whole plan of making this series? What's your whole thing going down the line?
It started, I was just talking about me, but then I decided it's like, well, why don't I just go ahead and list as many people, as friends of mine, calling some favors and, set them down. Hopefully they're comfortable in front of a camera. And I just wanted to, it was a lucky stroke that it turned into episodes. I started to edit, a full feature length film, and all of the content was so good. All of the conversations were so good that I just said, you know what, I can't edit. I can't cut any of this stuff away. Yeah. So I just had to keep each person as their individual section. And so I think I want to keep doing that. So, but the format is going to change a little bit. I guess this is the first place I've really talked about it. I'm going to start playing with them. So before it was just an interview. Now I want to learn what they would consider is their signature song, from whatever band they've been in or whatever song that they've, they feel like is their strongest. Learn a couple of the riffs. Yeah, their themes, if they had a theme song, that's it. And we learn it, we play it together no matter what instrument they're on. I'll pull my guitar out, my bass out or something like that. We'll play a little bit of the song, talk about their music. We'll talk about, our struggles within, being black in the white scene and not white scene. I don't want it to sound like that completely. Yeah.
More one end going to another end.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then and end with and there's a couple of shows that I've seen that this is inspired by. So I'll certainly give them nods. But I really want it to grow in that direction, and hopefully have a show, and I got their band setting up right next to me, me at my desk, something like that.
Okay, so let me ask this on the side here. Now, are you a gamer by chance?
No, I'm actually not. I don't have the patience, but I
I feel
yeah.
I feel it. So I want to kind of divert that a little bit. So back then, now everyone knows I'm a gamer like hell. So I want to go off of soundtracks.
Sure.
You got games like Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
That's huge. I do know that. Yeah.
You got like I guess like some sports games were on the menu, and you hear all those songs. Of course, it's going to be a lot more rock. You're going to hear less rap. You're going to hear less R&B, depending on what the game is. If it's basketball, okay, more likely.
Yeah.
I get that point. Football, baseball, hockey, okay, one place.
Yeah.
With Tony Hawk, you got pure rock. You got pure hip hop. So, like Premise, you got like just everybody. I'm like, dude. So like, kind of diverting from there, like, were gaming soundtracks were like, was that like the top of the line thing, like during like the later '90s?
Man, it was huge. TV was always pretty big. As far as those soundtracks, dude, I did spend a lot of time playing Tony Hawk, Pro Skater,
good old days.
Yeah, the good old days, when it was these blocky dudes and triangle heads and
a little bit of blood.
a little bit, into playing Tiger Woods on Xbox, 2005, and you'd pull up the menu and some rock song is playing, but it was CKY, that's what I was just humming a second ago. It was maybe Rollins band. I don't know who else was on there. A lot of punk stuff, a lot
of mixed bands. One of which I did like what was that game? Matt Hoffman Pro BMX. One song called Everything Turns Gray. I just love the riffs on there. But like I said, it's shit like that. It's like it resonates with me because my first ever song that I like, and it wasn't even a sports game. Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Yeah, was playing Metallica Fuel.
Okay,
and that was just kind of like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah. Rock music is really what it amps you up. Like baseball players, hockey players come out to it. Like it's their walk on. What do they call that? The walk on music. Yeah, walk up music.
When a picture comes up.
Yeah, and it's just usually some rock song. Maybe it's hip hop, boxing. A lot of times, or MMA or something like that. Sometimes it's hip hop, but there's a lot of rock stuff.
Yeah.
Depending on who it is. Who's doing the walk. So I just want to be part of that. And I don't want. So back to the series, episode 2, someone brought up, Bernie Hayes brought up, he said, the separation of genres was kind of like, we're going to make this rock music and we're going to market this to the white audience. And this is in the 40s and 50s, or 50s, actually, 50s and 60s. We're going to, and this is who's dancing to it, in the clubs and who can be there. And then we're going to call this R&B. We're going to call this the blues. We're going to call this, soul music. And we're going to put this and market it to whoever else is ready to buy it. So it's all the black artists over here, all the white artists over here. Maybe there's a person of color in one of the white artist bands, but they're not playing the same venues. So that separation leads me to the thought that I had, like an MMA fighter, a couple of white guys walk out, they got rock songs, they got Limp Bizkit playing, they got, Static X playing, they got, something like that, and then, maybe a white guy comes out, probably the brothers come out, with Goody Mob or you know what I'm saying, like something like that, and it's like, okay, that's
Silver
almost
Sun pickups.
Yeah, right. So they're a great band. I've met them. They're really, really cool. They put on a great show. They've got an Asian drummer. But I still see separation, and I still see so few numbers of people of color playing rock music, and it's typically like one person in the band, one or two people in the band, that are of color. If it's
I don't know, Plain White T's.
Yeah,
he's the guitarist, or no? He's the.
Oh man, does he play trombone or something? I don't know. No, that's not him. Big guy, maybe. Is he the drummer or the bass player? I can't remember.
I want to say bass. It's been a while.
Yeah,
like listen to that band.
I worked for Slackers 100 years ago, and we had them in store.
Oh man,
at one point too. Yeah.
Is it Ken Fletcher? No, it's not. No. DeMar Hamilton.
Yeah.
He was a. He is a drummer.
Okay, he's the drummer. Yeah, great drummer.
Yeah. Okay. So and also I was kind of looking at this too. Before the show, I was also looking at a lot of other, like, maybe not bands, but just like musicians back in the day. Mm-hmm. One of which, Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Chuck Berry. Now, would we consider the rock we have today, was it different like how rock and roll was, or is it just the namesake, or do we see it just like really change over time?
The vibe about it?
Right. It's like you got rock and roll and then you got rock. Like, do you see it as two different things, or do you see it as a different change?
I would say that's kind of the same thing, because, like Chuck, it's the instrumentation sometimes. Like Chuck Berry's playing a guitar. If you see a piano player, which he played, the guy who hired Chuck to be in his band is named Johnny Johnson, and he's the one that played that. Chuck learned it and was able to move it in front and put a microphone in front of himself and actually do his duck walk, and that made him more marketable. So that's why they split, and that's why Chuck is who he is, or who he was. But if you see a piano doing that, and it's kind of rocking and rolling or whatever, but you can't pick up a piano and like do a power slide on your knees. You can't,
right?
You can't, walk the catwalk like say for instance Dave Grohl does from Foo Fighters Slash, or you
can't. The guy that can do anything, it didn't give him a moment.
Right? Yeah. you can't walk that, and reach the back of the crowd or whatever on that piano. So I think sometimes those instrumentation, you got a drum set and you can't really move that, but you got to do, flinging sticks and things everywhere. So it's a visual thing. Piano is more, you see classical music. So those. And I guess my point is, it depends on the instrument that's playing it. I could play, Voodoo Child on a tuba, and it's not gonna. I can't. I'm not saying, but I could if I could. Would that be considered rock and roll? It's a little disjointed, but like if I put my guitar on, I'd do that. There's your rock and roll. So I think it just depends on who's looking at it and what you're looking at, maybe.
But then, this, we're talking like old 50s. We're talking 60s, right? So Chuck Berry was around, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Little Walter,
Bo Diddley,
Cadillac Records, basically.
Yeah,
that was more. I could probably say rock and roll. I mean, I'm probably sure that's all they had, or you can call it soul.
Yeah.
You can't call R&B because it's not smooth. It's
Right.
not just song. They're singing and they're doing whatever. So we go from there and kind of go forward with this. Like, wow, there's like black musicians that did that before. Okay, here's a better one. Screaming Jay Hawkins.
Oh yeah, I put a
Screaming
spell
Free
on
Jay
you.
Hawkins.
Yeah. I mean, he was shock rock, man. I mean, he was
that gothic like vibe.
Yeah.
His time.
If it weren't for Screaming Jay Hawkins, there wouldn't be Alice Cooper. If it weren't Alice Cooper, there wouldn't be Marilyn Manson. If there wasn't Marilyn Manson, who knows what's next? So again, it's this black man singing these things, so they put this not rock label on it. So I think that time it just really it was the marketing. It was those people that were calling the shots, the management. Like I had a conversation talking about Elvis Presley, and I was like, fuck Elvis, like he stole all this stuff, and the person's like, well, I'm pretty sure it was his handlers. He's not the one that signed the papers. He was probably pretty entrenched in just do what you're told, boy. I'm gonna make you rich. If you step out of line, we're going to take all of this away.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the movie. I'm pretty sure they add like few more details. They either exaggerated or they didn't. But
I think it was a better account of what really happened to him. And I haven't seen the full movie yet, but a close friend of
Butler, he did a good job.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. But yeah, a close friend of mine told me, he was like, yeah, it's probably a little more his management. I think it's Colonel Parker, maybe Colonel whatever. I should know. Colonel Tom Parker, I think that's what it is, Yeah.
But like I said, it's crazy, It's crazy how like a lot of things that kind of inspired more of the music. Because again, you got even way back then. Let's say like Louis Armstrong, a trumpeter.
Yeah,
that's just a big band, Frank Sinatra back in the day. The Chords.
Yeah.
A black singing group. So nowhere near rock and roll, but again, it's just a black group that just happen to sing songs. But if you go down the line again, like the Bill just said, but you have the people like James Brown. He's more funk.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he developed into that. He was part of the Chitlin circuit too. He was part of that early, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Chitlin circuit, and listeners, it's where the black performers could actually perform, where they could go. Jimi Hendrix, I was gonna say George Clinton, he was part of that. He had a singing group too.
Bo Diddley.
Yeah, Bo Diddley.
I only heard about him because I remember this guy had a shirt with a square rectangular guitar, and I'm trying to see who did it. I was like, that's actually nice. I want that.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great guitar. I don't know why they didn't really kind of recreate him, but I guess it wasn't terribly popular. But so Bo Diddley, dun 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 dun, and then you get the drums doing that, and then that's part of the roots of the sound of it too. So, I mean, there are a bunch of different ingredients that really get us to where we are today.
Yeah,
and the marketing, fight it or not, they did their best to keep it separate and to just, make the money over here and not so much over there. But right will out, I mean, they finally recognized Little Richard, they couldn't contain Jimi Hendrix, so.
Man, if Jimmy lived longer, boy, it would still be just something.
I had that.
Not even new.
Yeah.
That just continues.
Yeah. I had that conversation. I said the evolution. After his death, the evolution of rock and roll and maybe guitar music and sonics, the way things are heard and performed happened, but it took a lot longer without him.
Right.
And I mean, the next 5 years, what would music have done? By 1975, he died in 70. 1975 was where funk and disco and all of that stuff lived. Like disco might not have even happened. So chic, right, exactly. What's his oh my god, I can't blank on his name for whatever reason. Nile Rodgers, like he might not even have had a career. Like he could have been a different person if Jimi Hendrix had lived. Right. And then David Bowie, he would have been who knows what would have happened to him without Nile Rodgers. Prince? God damn it. Where's my head? Prince, yeah, 80s, yeah. He gave that, he had funk and I guess, a soul kind of sound, that, but definitely rock guitars, Yeah, man.
So like I say, the thing that I kind of inspired by rock, and I'm just going off, what I listened to back in the 2000s. And I'm going to say this right now, I'd be more point blank, because my mom hated the hell out of it. But here's the thing. With rock now, or metal at least, when you listen to it, people say like, "Oh, it's satanic," and then no, it's not. I mean, you say it because you don't listen to it, and you think of that way. Yeah. But like, there's meaning to all that. There's meaning to every song possible. Like my favorite song by far, if anything, "Waking the Demon" and "Beast and the Harlot." Yeah, "Waking" from Bullet from Valentine and "Beast and the Harlot" from Ben Sevenfold. Two of my favorite bands. Yeah, tied, but second place is Bring 'Em In. But there's a lot of meaning to it. When you really listen to it, okay, there's a story behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a story behind every song.
Yeah.
And what gets me crazy about it, I like the tone, because you can go to work right now, and if you do a whole lot of moving, okay, bam, put your headphones on, you hear that, and it gets that more vibe. Yeah. But like, a lot of people hate on it just because of how it sounds. Like, listen, in that case, no one's gonna like the music that you listen to, so you can't really judge.
Yeah.
You can't judge that.
Man, well, I'm not going to expand on that. That's succinct. That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What else could you say about it, though? Like,
everybody has a sense of style, and everyone has like the taste of music. Okay. Yeah. I get the whole like lifestyle you want to go for, fine. But like, when it comes to music, it goes either way. You got people that can like country. You got people that like reggae, which I would like to get into that in a minute. You got people that like orchestra. Yeah. Now, orchestra, I mean, I listen to a lot, but okay, movies are good doing it.
Yeah.
Especially for a climactic scene.
You wouldn't have, the power of right. Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Science fiction.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
What's another one? There's like other types of songs. I forgot what. It's like even opera.
Yeah.
Like there's like an opera tone. Yeah. And the Godzilla, Shin Godzilla. Yeah. And which I did not watch that movie, but I hope you will soon. Again, it goes either way. I like rock just because there's more to it. There's more tone. There's more harmony. Breaking Ben has a lot of harmony in there. Yeah. Freaking there's one band. Even the emo music. There's a lot of harmony in there. I was at emo night, and Not Topic. Shout out to those guys this past weekend.
Yeah, man. Stacy and Miles. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Those are good people, and like it just brings you back to the early 2000s. Like what was a song, or what was a band and song that kind of kept you going like back in the 2000s?
Oh man, in the 2000s, Radiohead's my favorite band in the world. Right, so okay. Like they kept putting stuff out in the 2000s. That was. I think the thing that I like about them most, like I favor the bands that put an album out, and they're not trying to hit singles. They want a piece of work, and this is an art. Like you put it on and you just let it play all the way through. No matter what you're doing, if you're listening actively, if you're cleaning the house, if you're, walking the dog or whatever. And I think that kind of goes back to what you were saying too. There's just certain moods with certain music that draw maybe some things that, it matches your emotions. You didn't mention Linkin Park, but like Chester Bennington, like his stories are so sad and they're so poignant, and his voice, like he's got such power behind his voice that it's touching, and I don't care who heard it, they would be like, damn, something's going on with this guy, and
which rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah, rest in peace. And exactly, something was going on with this guy, and he was telling us all about it, and you could feel it. No matter if you knew the lyrics or not, you could feel it coming through in his voice. And then and I think that if people didn't understand that, you get the devil's music kind of thing. Yeah. And, every generation scorns the next. So all of the older people are looking down at this newer music at the time and just like, oh, well, they're just screaming. It's nothing but noise. Like, we'll sit and listen to it. It's got the same articulation, and it's got the same like the composition and the music theory that goes into a lot of these. Like Nirvana may be simple chord chords that he's playing, but his pop sensibilities and the way he puts a song together are just as targeting as, say, your favorite Beatles tune or your favorite Bach tune. This guy is putting together the tones and singing the right notes, and his voice sounded just the perfect way, to create something that millions of people still talk about today. I still teach Nirvana. I was playing Smells Like Teen Spirit today with my kids.
That's like the most iconic song.
Yeah. I mean, dude, one of the biggest songs in the world. Yeah. Yep.
I know I just recently, even though it's old, but Pearl Jam,
yeah,
Even Flow. I like that little tone they had there.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was like some times where people be playing a skateboard game and have Jesus, and then right when he's like, Even Flow.
Yeah. And then he's
like, all right.
Christ Air, yeah.
Even Flow.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't karaoke. But like, but to kind of go forward with it, like Linkin Park at that time, like I said, I didn't really get more into the music until like 2008, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And the one song I did like was No More Sorrow. And I used to play that a lot. And then Giving Up, that's where he had the more, longer vocal. I'm like, good God, I don't know how he does that. I can't even do that.
Dude.
But like, No More Sorrow, that was a really, really good song too, especially with the intro. And I remember playing that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Any arcade I go to and have a Guitar Hero, I find that song.
Yeah.
And I know every note.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, that's just it's so riveting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even like I said before, even like Seven Dust at a time, like during the 90s, they were good. The 2009 9 albums, they were beautiful. And of course, like I said, everyone has a different tone in it.
Yeah.
Everyone has like a different like flow and vibe, but like it's still under that same roof.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's mood, whether it's just adrenaline, whether it's depression, you got to understand the song.
Right.
If you don't understand,
you got to give it a chance. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And not everyone's ready for that.
Yeah. I'll listen to anything once. If somebody says, "Hey, man, I think you'll really like this," and I think that's just when someone says that, I think they just like, I really like this. I hope you do too, and that connects to people in a way that maybe someone handing them their favorite book would do, or showing them their favorite movie. Song music works the same way, and or at least I like to think it does. So those connections that we're feeling to the music, and then you hand somebody else the same thing, that just kind of tells you a bit of who they are. Like, I made a mixtape for you. Like, I don't even know if that happens anymore. Like,
they probably do.
Or a CD, or made a playlist for you, or whatever form it's in
Some
these
people
days.
Probably 8-tracks.
Yeah.
If I had an 8-track player, boy.
Oh my God, yeah.
So like, kind of going within the personal note, like what inspired you to kind of continue with rock or metal? What's been like some of the inspirations?
Oh man, it's just in my blood, man. I think the more instruments that I picked up, as far as learning how they operate and learning to play them, I just keep wanting to explore it. And I'll kind of move around within that genre too. Like, I guess we could call it prog rock for identification purposes, but like odd time signatures and things like that. I've been in all those kinds of bands, like, I don't know, like sludge metal, stoner metal kind of stuff, or kind of straightforward things, just a straight meat and potatoes rock bands. I think, and exploring different instruments too, like, I've gone from guitar and vocals and bass and drums and all of these different kinds of bands, maybe playing a little keyboard here and there. But I think it's just exciting. It's just that sound really, not that I haven't done any other kind of stuff, like acoustic folk or like, but that's usually just sitting in with somebody. I don't know. I think it's just something that just sounds and feels best for me. Just like anybody knows that they like to, that they're a skater or something like that.
Yeah, that old like punk skater music. That's like the one thing I can kind of get behind.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to find it right here. So I had a friend.
Or maybe they're a street skater versus a vert, or something like that. I think, you just kind of find your niche and it fits best.
Yeah, because I had a friend back then. I don't know if you remember the name. His name was Jack Siren, and he had his own band a while back. If I could follow it, I think it was As Dust Falls. And I remember we used to talk, and what's funny about this, I found him doing a video in a hurricane, like one of them hurricane simulators. And I'm pretty sure you watch anime to a degree. Yes,
to a degree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he did a whole like Goku Super Saiyan. Like, yeah, it was so cool. And it was so funny. I found him on Facebook, like I think a few months or probably a year after, and I was like, "Oh my god, this kid's amazing!"
Yeah,
and he's done like his own songs. Like he has his own band. It's like probably years ago. I think he's kind of stopped with that now. But like seeing that develop, it's just like I wish I could have been like that back then, but I don't think it really had that much confidence and also that much effort and that kick to really do that. But like seeing him, I was like, man, like I need to get back into my old game like that.
Yeah, man. It's never too late to revisit something that sparked you. Like making these episodes. Like I guess it was 15 years ago or so that I was living in Chicago, learning how to edit video, and I made a couple of music videos. I made for some friends' bands. I did a lot of photography for a number of years. So I was learning about that too, putting in my 10,000 hours of that media. But God, I got about 40,000 hours of that shit. But
it's all work, bro.
Yeah, but then I think something came up. Actually, a friend, Brian McClellan, Blip Lap Video. He's a videographer around it. He did the Boom Room series. That's a pretty amazing thing too. But he just asked me, he's like, so what are you doing with the episodes? Like, or what are you doing with the videos? Like, he's the one that shot it for me, like the camera. So I was like, oh my God, I guess we did all that stuff. And maybe I need to dust off the old MacBook and get back into it. And then it just clicked. And I was like, man, these skills, I forgot that I had these skills. And so, I mean, getting back into, do you ever create anime? Do you do you draw, or do you learn any animation or anything?
I got a few friends that probably draw, do illustration. I never done anything personally.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind voicing an anime.
Yeah. Oh my God, I could hear you doing it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to do some voice work too.
So I was at a con years ago, and I met the guys that did Majin Buu and Hercule. They were definitely great.
Yeah.
And it was so funny, I remember one of them was like, yo, I asked him, like, yeah, did you like the Dragon Ball Evolution movie? He was like, dude, that was terrible. Go figure. And then, and it was also funny with voice acting in there, off the subject though, but he was like, yeah, you get paid more doing video game voice acting than you would just regular cartoons. I'm like, well, shit.
I guess the cartoon, because the game just keeps selling. If it's a good game, then people just keep buying units. I guess as far as anime, until it comes out on DVD, maybe, or if it goes syndicated or something like that. Yeah,
because
Sleep Token.
Even like anime, like music is just a thing, and I listen to a lot of I listen to a lot of these like rappers that do inspiration to certain characters. One of which is like there's Game Boy Jones, there's Dizzy 8. Daddy Fat Snaps, oh man, it's Cam something, Cam Steady, and it's like, okay, it's cool now, because one of which, if you ever get a chance, if you ever get a freaking chance, look up Divine Sorrow. I'm sorry, not Divine Sorrow, Divide Music.
Divine Music.
Divide Music.
Divide Music. Right. Divide Music.
Divine Sorrow. That's one of my personal band friends.
Yeah.
But they're definitely a good band too. But now I'm the subject here. Now he's a one person type of kind of guy, I guess. But his song, like his is mostly rock, and it's like, good God.
I think I've seen some of his stuff. I think actually one of my old students, Divide Me. Yeah, I found it. I think one of my old students had shown me some of this, and we learned. Will you show me this guitar part? Like, all right, kid. Yeah.
Play it, but oh, damn it!
I put it in some watch later
Yeah, 'cause like I've been listening to him for the past few years, and we got some new songs out.
Mhm.
But no, it's just stuff like
I just saved that one. Yeah,
yeah.
Tanjiro song. Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
My favorite one by far. Then it was the Guts one. It was Pressure.
Mhm.
The one I like now, it's either Last Man Standing or Great Line. That's a Luffy, and the other one's like I forgot what type of anime that was. It was like a not Baki. It was like a bare knuckle anime.
Yeah,
Like
this is way deeper than my education on this.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of the classics. You know, Akira and Fist of the North Star, and
Woo!
and yeah.
I'm
What's
in
the
love
other
with
one?
Ray. He's never made a movie.
Ninja Scroll. Yeah.
Woo!
Yep.
Man, we might have to cut this off early.
Love some Miyazaki. Yeah.
Yeah, that was some good shit then.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now I gotta go watch it again.
Yep.
But no, it's just like
Same.
shit like
Yeah.
that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, okay, give me a black or African American, I don't care, female or male,
Mhm.
get a band, and they can actually make an intro for an anime, dude. That I would be
Yeah, man.
That was
Yeah.
golden.
Oh my god. So I need to just research where they what was the name of
Okay,
this band?
okay, Ragnarok. There we go.
Yeah. Oh god, what was the name of that band? Something the something. And they were young kids, and I forget what town they were from. Never mind. Cool story, right?
My friends from Texas, it's the same one. That's As Dust Falls.
No, not them. No, it's something the Fate. Oh fuck. Never mind.
Escape the Fate.
No, it's not them. No, that's not that either. Oh my god.
That must have been that.
I'll have to come up with it. I'll text you. I'll text you
It must
later.
have been
Yeah.
that long.
No, they were kids when they started, and this was like 2012. I want to say. Yeah, they're. I'll come up with it. I'll be driving home, and you'll get a weird text at like
Right.
like 8:00 tonight.
LOL.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, man. There are a lot of black rock artists coming up, whether they're solo and they put a band behind them, or they've got a band and sometimes they're all black. Like I had my band was called You People. YOUPEOPL, just one word or whatever. And we were at our largest, we were a 7-piece, and there were 4 black, 5. Yeah, 5 of us were black in the group. And then we started out as a 4-piece, and there were 3 of us, and our drummer was a white guy, which is usually the other way around somehow. Yeah. And we consciously did that. We definitely wanted to find the available, willing, and capable people of color, black musicians in our area, to band together. And it's like, hey, you know what? I had never been in a band that was all black at the time, and I still haven't technically, I guess. But like, we put that together, and it wasn't like we wanted, haha, now it's your turn. It wasn't anything like that, but it was like, okay, well, we do have a voice. Let's all, say these things together, and it certainly came about at a time, 2016 to 2018. That's kind of when we started up, and we definitely, it's like, okay, St. Louis needs this voice right now. I think the world needs this voice. Not that we were worldwide or anything like that. I think we got some fans in like Mexico or something like that, but maybe some European fans. But we definitely needed it to. We had to give it a shot, and we had to say, hey, this is happening. And as we were coming about too, we started noticing more and more. Not that it was happening, sprouting up, but we started noticing these things, and then getting back in touch with, our rock and roll roots, our Living Colors and our King's X and our, these and that, those that Tom Morello, he's someone that I've actually met too. I had a short conversation with him before. He's the guitar player for Rage Against the Machine. but really talk, and he's certainly about, soul power. He's certainly about black power. He's about people power too. So it's really kind of not just saying, hey, check out our blackness. It's like, we are black people that appreciate this type of music. We can do it quite well ourselves. So listen to us, give it a shot,
And see, and also I wanted to kind of point this out too, because I know like a lot of like Caucasian cultures, they're kind of like how blacks are with the rock, but then you got the whites that's kind of with the rap game. Like,
yeah,
I could probably include Eminem on this, but he's beyond that.
Oh man,
but,
yeah.
But no, like again, so do we also change that? Because like I say, it's a different culture in another culture's like territory.
Yeah.
Not saying it's a bad thing, but it's like everyone they get encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
You're like I said, Camp Stay is one of them. There's like we got a friend named Preach. He's local around here.
Mm-hmm.
There's like my boys T-Rain in the Misfits, Donnie Wave. It just so much like names, so much people that's not really digressing, but kind of shifting over.
Yeah.
When I look at you, I'm thinking like, oh well, this guy, he could be a jazz player, he could be a piano player.
Yeah.
But like, if I really fuck with you and I see what you really do, like, okay, he's a rocker.
Yeah. I mean, you'd mentioned, I think you mentioned reggae before. Like, now that I've got really long locks, people it doesn't happen all the time, especially these days. I think people have kind of caught on to just watch their mouth, but when I first started growing these things, oh man, you must be into Bob Marley. It's like, or are you a reggae, guitar player? It's like, no, I mean, I had, his greatest hits at one point because I was learning some songs for this thing, but not really, and, or, the weed thing. Like you must know where the weed is. Like, I can probably find some, but I think anybody could find it, because it's, I don't know, like, I don't have any in here. So like, yeah, I don't know.
But like, I do need to point this out anyway. But no, like, it's again, the visuals is always going to be the top thing.
Yeah.
Instead of like hearing it.
Yeah. Right. It's just the book, judging the book by its cover, that's, they see a thing and they have to associate somebody with it. That's actually my series. They called me a sellout, but it started as they called me Hootie. And I only changed it because the face, the expression on your face right now is like, who the fuck is Hootie?
I
like,
they say Hooter.
No, Hootie. No, they called me Hootie, which was Hootie and the Blowfish, but that's Darius Rucker. Everybody used to call him Hootie, but they called me Hootie too because I'd had a baseball cap on, and as soon as I put my guitar on, somebody in the audience would yell Hootie. So, but I think that was dated. Plus, if Darius Rucker were to ever see that, he'd be like, "Look, man, that's not me. I don't want anybody bringing that shit up again." So, long story, it's all to say, just seeing someone and deciding that's who they are because of what they're wearing or the way their hair looks, or even what color their hair is, that day is outright ridiculous.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I say, it takes me a while to kind of look at you and see like, okay, he's cool either way, if his character's right. But then when I see you do extra, that's what gets me going. Like I have a friend, I don't know if you're familiar with Brendan Patton.
Yeah, he was in You People.
Oh, okay. So
he was in my first band.
One of my boys.
That's my dude. Yeah, I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in another band as well. But yeah, I've been hearing him for a while. It's like, okay, he's good on guitar.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
Shout out to you, Brendan.
Yeah.
I love that dude. I saw him at the
Lil B, man.
He was at the was it Vince Sevenfold? I think so. Yeah, I think he was at the Vince Sevenfold concert.
Absolutely.
Or Disturbed, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
But
he was probably at both.
God damn,
yeah.
But like, from him, I got other friends I'm definitely gonna give you in contact with. But
please, yeah.
Like I say, I think it's just as a whole, from what we come from, from way back when we were on ships to now, we transpired a whole lot, and we kind of innovated to like another stage in time where it doesn't really kind of be surprise or like of a shock to us, but we take the matter in our own hands and see what we create.
Yeah.
And people appreciate it.
Yeah.
They don't judge. I mean, unless they want to, but that's on them.
Yeah.
People get criticized for it, but again, we're still making the progress.
Yeah. I think the only time that somebody judges is because they're just mad that they either couldn't do it or you thought of it first, And by the way, Brandon Patton is in episode 3.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So how does the series work? Like, is it like just interviews? Like, do we look at just music? Like, how? Describe me how like we go from like the episode to episode.
It's set up as a playlist, so it'll go right to each. It's on YouTube right now, but it's basically just an interview. Each episode is a little bit different. The first one has prompts on what Steve was about to talk about. Steve Ewing from The Urge, another St. Louis legendary band. Episode 2 has a lead in, and it talks about Jim Crow era America. That's the setup for the conversation because it's Bernie and UV Hayes, and they're legends. I think they're both in their 70s right now, I want to say. And Bernie was a pioneer in radio in the 50s, and his wife UV is a performer. I played with her once or twice, I think. Just incredible performer, incredible personalities, both of them. And I didn't want any music for that. I just wanted a conversation with them, and I wanted them to not be interrupted with, segments or music. Next is Brandon Patton and then Brandon Mason, who were in You People. Brandon Mason is the co-founder with me of that band. And it's, a tandem conversation, so the camera's going back and forth a little bit. And then it goes to Ben Kenny, who was the bass player for Incubus at the time, and the Roots a little bit before that too. And we just basically talked to him about, how he came up, what it's like dealing, with these kinds of things on every level. By now, Ben doesn't have to go through that kind of bullshit, but when he was growing up, those tours, somebody just looking him up and down, like, oh, well, you've got to be this thing because I see that,
Yeah.
Right. And like something I say, what about me? You looking at me, what about me makes you think I'm going to steal anything out of your car? I don't know if you just saw me get out of this car over here, but it's, it's not a piece. Well, my car right now is not the greatest, but like I have a car, I have a car's a car, got a car, man. So I don't need your car too. And there are car thieves, but like, that stereotype is useless. So.
I was gonna mention this earlier, so I still got time.
Yeah.
Now I remember watching this. I forgot. I think it was like remastered or something. Some VH1 did. Now I'm pretty sure you probably listened a lot. Body Count.
Yeah, man. Ice-T. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. I missed him.
Day.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, Cop Killer. Like that was. I just. Yeah. Ernie C. Was it Ernie C. was his guitar player? Yeah.
The main guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's left-handed or whatever. That's why I did that. Man, I mean, it had to be. So, that was the hip-hop world, and he, Ice-T dived into head first, I'm going to make a thrash metal band, was that before or after?
That was like late 90s.
It was late 90s, but he was part of the Judgment Night soundtrack, which took metal bands and hip-hop artists, hip-hop groups, and put them together, and they made the soundtrack for this movie. So Ice-T and Slayer, Helmet and House of Pain. Shout out to Paige Hamilton, he's my buddy. Who else? Onyx and Biohazard. Oh, yeah. And that was the birth of rap rock. And then
the new metal.
The new metal rap rock, then Rage Against the Machine comes out down the line. Was it Anthrax? I think Anthrax and
I love Anthrax.
Anthrax and
I know one song though.
Oh yeah.
Crush.
What album
It was on an ATV. Those ATV.
Oh, okay.
Games.
Yeah.
I just love that chorus.
Yeah.
Straightforward.
Yeah.
God,
oh man, geez. Anthrax. That was some of the stuff I was growing up with. I was
never St. Louis Slayer that year.
Yeah. I was a drummer at the time. Anthrax and Public Enemy. That's
Ooh, yeah.
They were first. They put out that song, Bring the Noise, and then that soundtrack happened, and then it exploded. I forgot where we started, how I got to that point, but like, I forgot what you asked me.
We're talking about like the body count, like just.
Yeah.
I think he was.
So
acting first, I think though. It was as a
man, I can't remember. Yeah. I guess so.
He
but
was in Jack City.
Yeah, man, Cop Killer was huge, man. And was that the name of the album too?
It was the first one. It was just their soul. It was a self-titled.
Self-titled. Yeah.
I'm looking at Spotify right now.
Yeah.
Body Count, Born Dead, Violent Demise, Murder for Life, Manslaughter, Bloodlust, which I do like, and now they got. And then the last one was Carnivore, and they got a new one coming out with Psychopath.
Wow,
I think it's a single. But now they got an instrumental, which I'm going to be hearing in a minute.
Was that like 8 albums? How many was that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. And the new one's 8.
Shit, man.
Two instrumental ones.
I had no idea that they were still going like this whole time. That's cool.
Yeah. There was another okay, well it was a song. 2008 or 9, I forgot what year, but it was a mixtape. It was Lil Jon and 3 6 Mafia, and they played a song called Act the Fool, and it was nothing more but like guitar riffs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, it was.
Yeah.
That was actually a good
was it
song
like
for a
sampled
mixtape.
stuff or like
crunk rock? It was a crunk rock.
Yeah,
mix.
yeah.
I was like, okay, that was cool. And then later down the line, you got the Shop Boys, the Rockstar Mentality.
Yeah.
They made that one hit song, Probably Like a Rock Star. There was Montana the Mac. He made Do the Rock Man. So it's like. Even R. Kelly did one. It was You're a Rock Star.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
How does that sound beautiful? I mean, God forbid he's doing shit now. But like
yeah, right.
But like it's just like at that time, I was like, man, it caught on.
Yep.
And he had K-Rock in there.
Because it was always there, man. It was always there, and it just never came to the surface because I don't know, black culture, like UV said, black culture even poo-pooed rock and roll. They called it the devil's music, and Mike, growing up, my cousins and, some neighborhood friends or whatever, just, they didn't know. They, just, it's supposed to be corny to them, and because that's what somebody told them, and here I am like listening to this and I'm like, how is this? Why I don't get it. Like
crazy moment.
But I saw the guy on television. Like, how's he corny? Like that dude was awesome. And I'm talking about Living Color, like.
Yeah, I like those guys.
Yeah.
Like I said, because it was again, back with wrestling. CM Punk, when he came out with that and that was a new thing, so I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I think I saw the video later or the band later after that. I was like, okay, these are fucking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
The 90s, it changed.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The 90s was a great time for music, man. I had that's when I was learning about guitar, and just the 90s was incredible for music to me, in my opinion.
Okay, so like during your time, like have you ever worked like at a music shop?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like Euclid Records or
Camelot Music. That was like I was 20. This is a long time ago. Camelot's not even a thing anymore. But
damn.
Yeah.
I think the only ones I know, there's a CD Reunion, there's Euclid Records in Webster,
Billboard.
There was one I was in not Manchester, Maplewood area. And it's right by Richmond Heights or Richmond the school, and I forgot what that place was, but like it was like a whole lot of record players. And it's like even FYE, FYI, so
FYE,
okay. I remember that going that store a lot during the malls.
Yeah,
that was a great ass store.
Yeah,
why did it take that away?
Because the formats changed, man. I mean, this is why like, the BlackBerry happened, and then this Steve Jobs came. That's not even an iPhone. I mean, that's why I did it. iPods, they made it smaller. You can carry it and go, I can store 1,000 songs in this little thing, rather than carry around my cassette deck and boombox. But it was right. It was fantastic. Radio Raheem, man, from Do the Right Thing, like. With this big old boombox, like that's another movie. It's a Spike Lee joint, so yeah, you got to see that. Yeah, right. And that was it, man. I mean, making tapes, recording something off of the radio. There was a process to all of this stuff, and there's that nostalgia for me. Like I'm getting chills just thinking of those days when I was really discovering music.
I can tell you had a Walkman.
Oh yeah, I had a Walkman. I had the Discman. Yeah, man. Yeah,
I had. It was a Sony though.
Yeah, Sony Walkman. Yeah, little cassette, and you can rewind it just a little bit. You got to turn it around, and yeah, man. Oh, those were the days.
Mine, I think, was yellow. If I recall.
Was it the Sport? Was it the Sport?
I believe so.
Yeah. Walkman Sport.
Now I also had one of those. You probably see it at like a church penny, or like they give it to you like in the goodie bag. Those little no, you can buy it at Dollar Tree. They have those like little FM radios. You press the button, it goes to the station.
Yeah.
It's like a bootleg radio piece. Yeah. I'm like, okay. I had one of those. I had like the keychain one.
Yeah.
It was cool at the time because they had like a little clock and compass on it.
Yeah.
But you know, just imagine like that still being a thing.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
take away these, take away the iPod, and you had those.
Yeah.
So you got to source every song through radio.
Yeah. I mean, I'm dating myself here when I say this, but like, you know, radio's where we got our information at first until the band came into town, and you had to go to whatever venue, buy a ticket, you know, stand in line and get in there. And, you know, you couldn't access the band here. You couldn't see, you know, you couldn't even get on a laptop or desktop computer and look at YouTube. That wasn't even a thought at the time, you know. So you had to get your information the hard way and actually go to it. And now,
at the time they had music, I think.
At the time, and you know, when did AOL start?
I was like 98, 99.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking like 88. You know, this is when I was coming up. I was 10, 12. Let's see, what was that? 13 or 14.
I was 1 when I was 92.
Yeah, dude, I'm way older than you think I am. So
that's fine. We're both young at heart here.
But right, absolutely. but it, I mean, like seeing that progression and seeing the span, you know, and like seeing how things change and like how now you can fit all, you know, I got Spotify here, you know, $11 a month, and I can listen to anything I want, anytime I want, you know. So that's, Matt and I were actually talking about how local bands kind of suffer. And because local bands can't compete with, you know, Beyonce and Swiftie and, you know, all of these people that are getting 1 billion streams and maybe making a few $1,000s themselves on this, you know, what are we supposed to do? You know,
just continue playing, man.
It's not like I can stop. It's not like I can stop. Like I said, it's in my blood, man. As long as I'm black, I'm playing music.
If I was a kind of guy where it's like, firsthand, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get a whole lot of money, get some big deals.
Yeah.
That you can't think that way. I mean, it's fine, you want to think that in a positive way, but like you want to enjoy your shit first.
Yeah,
you want to sit there and say, okay, I'm gonna do a podcast. I want to try to collaborate with people. Like I'm collaborating with you today, and everything else in between. So I see how much fun I have doing that, and then sooner or later down the line, okay, things will change.
Yeah.
But you gotta give it time.
Right.
Even if it takes, I'm still doing YouTube. Do I have 1,000? No. 10,000? Hell no. Not even 1 million.
Right.
I still got under 1,000, but I like doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But people know me for what I do.
Right. And that's what's going to translate into, you know, across this camera lens into the screen, and they're going to feel, you know, the energy that's going on between us and what we're talking about and how we live our lives as creators and as artists. And then money does follow. I guess money follows. It will come up when we're supposed to have it, and it's going to fund, you know, this kind of thing when it needs to. You know, I don't live a lavish lifestyle, but I get propelled forward by the grace of the universe somehow, you know, and sometimes the finances come along with it, and it's, you know, you can't stop it, but you just have to keep taking those steps towards it.
Definitely.
And that's the only way anything gets done.
I mean, for the sake of entertainment, I'll do what I can in front of a camera. That's fine. But like, I think as a whole result is I came this far as of right now, and even for the past 10 plus years, if I can say so. I've enjoyed what I've been doing. I enjoy the people I've been working with, and it really, I don't question like, why am I doing it? I ask myself, okay, how much more do you want to do?
Yeah.
They don't want to do too much because it'll strain you, but like you want to be able to be like, okay, let me do this first, then I'll go into that, and then bam, you know, it's a long list.
Yeah,
but you want to definitely get yourself in a moving pace.
Yeah. What do I want to do today? What am I gonna? I have in my calendar every day, 8 a.m. It says just take one step. Pops up, just take one step, and it's like, okay, what do I do? Make a video. All right, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a post. I'm gonna contact this person. I'm gonna, reach back out to this person or whatever. And I mean, that's what's gotten me here today, man. I'm grateful to be here right now.
Right now you're done. Also, I want to get back into it. So are you still making your series, or you still got more to go for?
Still making it. I have a GoFundMe fundraiser that a colleague from California has put together, and we're needing donations. You can't, like I was talking about funds, these things have to be funded, one way or another. So I've got grants that I'm, trying to fill out everything I can for it. So I want to continue making episodes. Like I've got 4 now, so I think the next batch is going to be what I'll call season 2. But I just want to keep making them and just see where it goes from there. I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow, even.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, because I do want to. Before we get off it, once we get off air here, I definitely want to get you contacted with some people, because I know a few. They do music, they do their own things as well, and I think it'd be a great way. I wish they were here tonight, but it's fine. But we're definitely gonna try to get something started. Yeah. And hopefully, if you have room for me, I would like to be on there. We can definitely talk. Yeah, man. We can talk the nostalgia of like music and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Get that down here.
Yeah, yeah.
And since he's down here, so we're gonna wrap it up in a minute. But I do want to thank you once again, Mr. Chan, Maurice Evans, once again on the podcast. Hopefully, we'll see you around some more. So before we go, like always, where can we find you? Where's your links? What's your GoFundMe and everything else in between, and your next upcoming projects?
I have a YouTube channel, 3220 Productions. I think the tag is YouTube, or excuse me, You People Music, but the series is called They Called Me a Sellout, being black in the white rock and roll industry. You can just Google that. They Called Me a Sellout. Search it in YouTube. It'll come right up. There's a playlist with all of the episodes. We're on Facebook. I'm personally on Facebook. Chan Maurice Evans. But 3220 Productions is also on Instagram, and that's where the link in the bio is for our GoFundMe. We're perpetually taking donations. Just bought some camera equipment. Need some lighting equipment. And I got to travel a little bit too. I got to go to some interviews. So with, as many people helping as possible, like these episodes will happen. So that's why I'm here, man.
All right.
Hoping for it, yeah.
Okay, and I got a few announcements here myself, if I can get it up here. Okay, so I've been working with this lady for a little bit. This is going to be coming up on Thursday, July 18th from 4 to 11 p.m. At the, I'm trying to say it right, Smoking Lions. It's a Smoking Lions band. They're going to be at the House of Soul. They're going to be doing some music, and I might be doing some interviews down there. I got to talk to this lady, see what the whole plan is, but we'll try to get more of that out of the line. But like I say, I'm going to give you some contacts because I want you to hit them up and kind of talk your shit. I'm pretty sure we can get some more people on board. It can definitely be a great show for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, like I said, thank you again for coming here. Everyone here, check this guy out. We definitely had a good conversation for the whole hour, and I believe that with the music scene, we can definitely make it grow, and we got more people on board with it. So again, thank you for coming in. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and I got another guest booking in the next few weeks, but more to come. I got YouTubing, I got videos, I got more other stuff on it everywhere in between. So you know where to find me, you know where to find him. Of course, you know where to find Artistunite Network. Till next time, y'all stay cool, stay breezy, and like always, stay awesome. We is out.
The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs. The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs.